Semen. Across all kingdoms of nature, through each eon of Earth's history, everything that ever lived or died was locked in that deadly dance of existence, the right to reproduce, the chance to either stay a character in the book of life or end up being written out entirely, in a game where even the winners are eventually forgotten. But somewhere in that game of sperm and egg, of life and death, came us. Somewhere in the plains of Africa, a couple million years ago, we first stood upright. Somewhere in the chaos of changing environments, after our jungles retreated to savanna, after we grinded our cracked teeth to nubs trying to get the marrow out of scavenged bones, after the last of us huddled at night for warmth, with nothing but the stark memories of those lost to predation to occupy us, we discovered fire. No longer at risk of being knocked off the board, we stabilized. And then we started to win. Our first cities smelt like shit, and our first beers were nothing more than swamp water and moldy bread. And we didn't know it at the time, but we had changed the rules of a very, very old game. Here, it was cultural evolution that defined our meta, rather than the brutal, mindless tragedy of natural selection. The first gamer, whoever he was, that invented agriculture, set us on the path we still follow today. We didn't just grow grain, we stored it. No longer a society of only hunters, elders, children, and mothers. People started to specialize. People started to store. And the farmer stored grain. The merchant stored silver. The scribes stored knowledge. And the Chinese stored semen. You see, history forgets what it doesn't understand. But you, my fellow gamer, you deserve to know the truth. In the 4th century BCE, as empires rose and fell and philosophers argued in marble halls, a quieter revolution was unfolding in the mountains of China. Daoism. It was not a religion, not exactly, more like a physics of the soul. Where others built empires, Daoists built metaphors. The body was a vessel, the world a current. To fight it was to drown, but to flow with it was to live. They saw life not as a struggle, but as a system, a balance of forces. Jing, essence. Qi, energy. Shen, spirit. 3 layers of being, interlinked, hierarchical. Jing sat at the bottom, the base, the fuel. And unlike spirit, unlike energy, Jing was physical. It could be spent. It could be lost. And this is where the monks began to wonder, maybe it could be stored. To store Jing was to delay death, to build a buffer against decay, to refuse the pull of entropy. And what was the clearest, most direct expression of Jing? Semen. Though outwardly serene, these temples were locked in a brutal arms race of semen hoarding, as each monastery sought to prove its superiority, not through martial prowess or scripture, but through the sheer quantity of unspent Jing retained by its monks. But over time, a problem emerged. How could they know who was winning? How could one monastery prove it had preserved more Jing than another? How could a monk verify his supremacy over rivals he would never meet? And so, in a system lost to time, they created something new. A protocol, a ranked ladder, the first MMR system. A framework not calibrated by victories, but by unbroken retention. They tracked streaks, measured baselines, audited one another like accountants of abstinence. A monk in Henan might hear rumor of another in Sichuan who hadn't spilled in 20 years. Was it true? Could it be verified? A courier would be dispatched, a ledger reviewed. And while the temples have crumbled into soil and moss, the system endures. Today, behind every matchmaking algorithm, every elo grind, every ranked ladder you sweat through, lies the same ancient logic. It's still there, hidden. You may think your favorite game is measuring your mechanical skill, your map awareness, your split-second decision-making, but it isn't. It's measuring your Jing. So there it is. That's the secret they don't want you to know. This is the dark truth every esports legend knows, and they won't tell you. Think about your ancestors, how far back your bloodline goes, how hard they fought to survive, only for you, today, to lose your ranked games because you don't even know the rules of the game you're playing. So I'm here to equalize that. I'm here to tell you exactly how to harness your Jing and how to win your games. The true aspirant does not simply retain his Jing, he cultivates it through ritual. First, your desk must face true north, not magnetic north, but spiritual north, which is determined by observing the pattern of dust accumulating on your GPU fan. Alignment ensures proper flow of essence from monitor to body. Your chair must wobble slightly. It is a deliberate imperfection, for perfect balance breeds arrogance. Before queuing, it is essential to lower one's pulse rate by precisely 7 beats per minute. The ancient method involves clenching the jaw while reciting, silently, full names of your entire ranked team from your last defeat. A meditation on suffering known as the naming. Your mouse hand must remain bare, but your keyboard hand should be gloved, preferably in thin linen, soaked in chrysanthemum tea and dried under moonlight. It is also written, a player's mental composure can be restored instantly by the subtle placement of 3 smooth river stones beneath the monitor, positioned to approximate the Daoist trigram of mountain over water. And when your win rate begins to waver, when doubt gnaws at your spirit, you must perform the ancient rite of the disconnect. Stand slowly, unplug your Ethernet cable with your left hand, bow down once to your router, then exit the room backwards, never turning your back on the machine. These practices work. It's not because they influence the game directly, but because they harmonize the gamer's Jing with the unseen ranking algorithms themselves, and the monks knew this. Their leaderboards were not updated with victories, but with the assessments of essence. And though we no longer keep scrolls of those rankings, the truth remains. MMR is simply a reflection of your internal state. Of course, the Daoist monks could only dream of what modern technology has made possible. They spent lifetimes guarding their Jing, hoarding it in fragile containers and precarious ledgers. But today, thanks to this video's very real sponsor, WAI, your Jing can finally work for you. WAI is a revolutionary platform that allows you to donate your idle computer power directly to their cloud network, the Cloud Utility Management System, or CUM for short. Yes, seriously. In exchange, you get points. They're kind of digital currency, kind of not really, kind of just points right now, I'm going to be honest with you. But they might turn into something someday. They might be crypto. Honestly, I'm not really sure. They gave me this laptop to make AI videos. They told me to make a video about jizz. I will happily oblige. So, it's simple. While your body rests, your hardware labors. While you're preserving your own vital essence, your GPU hums dutifully in service of something greater. So, give it a try. Join WAI. Donate your resources. Accrue your Jing.